I feel like getting a bit sore, so I thought I'd sit down, but I'm a bit nervous.
We love you, Michael.
Thank you very much. It'll be a slow start, and there'll be a slow middle. Sorry, Amos. And turn it up a bit. I can do that. Hello, 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 hello. Is that better? Okay. So, turning 50, sort of a weird thing to say because I still can't really come to terms with it. But really the only thing that comes up to me, because I do feel pretty good. I feel pretty good.
You look pretty good to me.
Thank you, Constance. And the thing that's really just continues to come into my mind is how many fantastic people have been in my life, how many fantastic people have, helped me, been a part of my life, been a beautiful part of my life. It's unfortunate that my father isn't here to be a part of this, but we certainly shared some beautiful times. So what I'm going to do, because you can sort of sit down if you want to, because it's going to be a bit of a while. You can go get some drinks at some stage, come back, I'll still be here. What I'm going to do is just, sort of walk through a few of the things that have happened in the last 50 years and try and bring it down to a few minutes, and a few people are also going to say a few words. And I suppose really the first is I do have to share with you the brilliance of my mother. Some of you know my mother and speak highly of her, rightfully so. Doesn't matter what I say. But my mother is an amazing woman. She's extremely artistic. She has pieces of hers in museums around the world, in New York, in Israel, in Australia. She was a dressmaker to the stars many years before. And my mother is someone that came off the boat with a suitcase that was a foot by a foot, and worked very hard. And the thing that I remember as a child is sometimes she'd come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she gave us the life, myself and my sister, the life that all of her friends were having, which was middle to upper class. And so I certainly am very grateful for the major efforts that she put in to make sure that we were like everyone else. And when she went through the war, I'll just tell you one quick story. When she went through the war, she had no idea. She came to Australia, she was 16, 17, 18, 20, she had kids. She had 2 kids. She didn't know what to do. So she'd go to other people's houses and look at their house and see what was around. And if there was a Time magazine on the table, she'd go home, pick up a Time magazine and leave it on the table at her place, at our place. True? Anyway, I won't go on. You're an amazing woman. Thank you very much. Would you like to say a few words? The famous, the infamous, PG. You've got to put it to your mouth.
To my mouth, okay. Michael, I'm so lucky to have you, to have the world's best son. So loving and so caring. Michael, congratulations on your 50th birthday. Wow, what has happened in those years? Ooh. Where have the years gone? That was the right sentence. I love you so much. I love you so much, and I'm very proud of you. It's wonderful to see you so happy with your beautiful wife, Jade. Whatever she is. Beautiful wife, Jade. And my grandchildren, Jet and Gia. I know that if your father was here, he would be overjoyed. Shush. Contentment is the greatest wealth. You deserve the best, Michael, my son.
Thanks, Susan. One of the things, because my mother didn't know anything about child rearing, she was literally going through the war, walking in Paris with her sister when she was 3 onwards for many years. So we had Denise, who was a nanny of mine, and
Mothercraft nurse.
it was a mothercraft nurse, and she lived with us. And Denise is here today, 50 years later. Hands for Denise, go Denise. And Denise is going to say a few words.
Denise is going to say a few words, but I've never, ever made a speech in my life, but I really want to. So, Michael, or Claude, as your mum wanted to call you. Claude.
I would have been Claude if it wasn't for Denise.
Yes, going back to before you were born, your mum had cravings for gelati, so we'd tear down to Leo's in St Kilda at all hours of the night to get this gelati to satisfy mum's cravings. And, oh dear, I have to read it, I'm very nervous, but anyway, let me see. Oh yeah, and then she was in no hurry to get to the hospital when she was in labour. She worked all day and then came home and had Joe, your dad, pacing up and down Wilson Street and didn't want to go to the hospital. And anyway, she went quite late and she had you very quickly as soon as she got to the hospital, so that was amazing. And yeah, Michelle just loved her little brother and always protected him. Yeah, so yeah, they were great children. They were just both beautiful children to look after. And you were really exactly like Jet, and you would have had those beautiful curls, only your mum kept shaving your hair to make it thick and strong. That was what I believe. So, oh dear, what have I got here? Oh yeah, before children's seatbelts, you may be about 3, and my husband or my boyfriend then, Brian, we were driving slowly through Chadstone Shopping Centre. You wouldn't remember. Anyway, there was no seatbelts then, so you were standing up in the seat, and we saw a policeman in his uniform there, and you put your head out the window and said, "Hello, copper." But then you were always very cheeky, but I think Brian might have put you up to saying that. Yeah, so, yeah, what else? Yeah, you're always pretty cute and saying funny things. Like one day you were saying, as I thought, I want a tissue. But when I'd give you a tissue, I'd continue to give a tissue to you when you were repeating it. And then I woke up that you were saying, I want to kiss you. So, yeah, and anyway, we had many trips to Yarrawonga, and my whole family just loved you and Michelle and Joe and Paulette, and we still do, of course, and and all the our family send all their love to you, and you're a great fella, top bloke.
Jet? Jet, do you have a speech? What do you want to say? That was Daddy, I love you very much. It's interesting that Denise was saying that Michelle always loved me. Michelle and I, from stories that Michelle has said and stories that I say, have a very different view of our childhood. The one thing that definitely was true was she was a very, very good girl. Never did anything wrong. Michelle, you know, a very good girl, and I was a very, very bad boy. Like I did a lot of bad things. Not you know,
Cheeky boy.
cheeky, but I, you know, ran away from school. I burnt half the school down at one stage. I did a lot of bad things. But the one thing I will say about Michelle, one beautiful thing was that I spent a year away in Israel with Alex Smith in 1983. And we spent a year together, and there was a group of us, but Al and I actually worked together for that year. So it was a beautiful thing, and I've always loved Al, and he's an awesome brother-in-law. And the most beautiful thing is that he's now married to my sister. So it's a great thing. So anyway, I wanted to say just, you know, it's been great. My sister has always supported me throughout my life. She's always got a smile. She's always been welcoming. She even took me in before when I was an addict and I was trying to stay clean. I stayed at their place for a month before I went into the buttery. And I just got to say thanks. And if you do want to say anything, okay. The boys are going to say something.
They're talking for us. We've done it together.
Okay,
We've
all
written
right.
this speech together.
So, do you want to turn?
There's a microphone.
Okay. So we've had some people come here. I don't know, is Kaz still here? Did Kaz come back? Kaz Mason?
Oh, where is she?
Did she come back? No? Well, when I was in, I don't know, in my 15s, Kaz came up. There was a group of us that spent about 6-7 years together. So I'd just like to give it up for Kaz. If we could give her, she's not here, but she was here. And, you know, she made a good effort to come here. So I'd like to say thank you, Kaz. Go, Kaz. Also, when I was 12, I used to go skiing, and I'd ski the slopes with Eva over here.
Eva, this one.
35 years ago. And I'd like to put our hands together for Eva for coming down. Thank you very much. I love this girl. Thank you very much. I really had this idea of, you know, sort of walking through my life, but it's very hard. It's hard because I don't want to forget anyone. And there's some, you know, I mean, a lot of people here have had a, you know, a big part in my life. One thing that I do, one thing that I do want to share with you is that I was very good friends, or I actually went out for a while with Nicole. Where is Nicole? With Nicole over there with her hand up. And the first thing that I want to say is that Nicole is and has been always an absolutely beautiful friend, and more so, it was near the end of my hard years of addiction that Nicole actually helped me get into rehab, I would say, and I remember detoxing there a few times. But the first thing that I really do have to say is she was going out, and now she's the father of her children. They have is Marco.
Yay, Marco.
Where's Marco? The one Marco with his hand up. I've got to say, the most beautiful thing of this man was that he not allowed, but you know, he was always there and supported our friendship, even through the hard times. And I think, you know, when you've got such a beautiful ex-boyfriend, that's a very good thing. So Marco, I bow to you. I also remember many times when I was at your house watching you bring up your children, and I thought, now that's how I'm going to bring up my kids. So I learnt a lot from you in that. 6 o'clock in the morning reading stories to Cleo, wherever she might be. It was beautiful. So, to Nicole, put our hands together for the whole Ahmed family, Healy family. Good on you. So, I skipped years, and you can be thankful of that. I always used to say we lived like Roman kings, because we had money, we had drugs, and we had homes and roofs and food. So I used to say we lived like Roman kings, but when that didn't work for me anymore and I was getting a bit soulless, I came to Bangalore, to Byron Bay, and I went into rehab. I think Barry's here as well. Is Barry still here? Somewhere out the back there. In 1999, I changed my life I changed my life, and drinking and drugging is not a part of my life anymore, and I do have to say thank you to Barry. And then there was a lot of people that had a part in helping me move forward. Fran, who I would walk on the beach with in the morning and discuss my step work. Bianca. Put your hands together for Bianca, who came up. Then was you know, lovingly brought into the world of rehabs, and I met a lot of people, but you know, Barbara and Jane and Consta were a big part of that. I left rehab very early, and I thought, geez, I've got to do something. You know, I can't stop. I've got to do this recovery thing. So I'd go to this class, and Constant was the teacher there every morning, 6:30. He'd do it 5 mornings a week, and I spoke to Constant. I said, look, I'm really unflexible. Nothing has changed, but I'm really unflexible. And Constant said, look, come at 6 o'clock instead. It was an hour and a half class, so it'd be 6:30 till 8. And he said, look, come half an hour early and we'll do some extra exercises to get you moving. So Constant would come half an hour early to class, and we would do this. And I just, like, you know, that sort of stuff is unusual and beautiful. And that was the start of a beautiful relationship. Put your hands together for Constant. Constant, come here, please. I was walking along the beach with Consta in Brunswick Heads 13 years ago. 13, 14 years ago, Torokino, and I said, Consta, I've got this idea. I want to do this one-on-one rehab. And he goes, great, let's do it. You know, you can do this. So, he's
And they were going to come to your house and stay at your house.
I needed something to help pay the rent.
In the lounge. In the lounge. We're going to put an ad in the Financial Review. Do you want me to say a few words? I was really avoiding this. I'm really scared. There's this bright light there, and I can't really see anybody. I'm like, oh man. And if I was gonna say something about what I remember about you is your generosity. You know, you've got a big heart, and you know if there's something you can do to help someone, especially if it involves driving, you're there. I remember once this is part of this generosity thing. I remember once I went away for a week and I came back and somehow he'd organised to drop 10 kilos of 10 cubic metres of soil at my place. And then I got there and I'm like, oh, how are we going to move it? And then the next week he drives over in the big Range Rover and pulls out this little tipper and starts digging up the soil. Do you want some over there? And you want some over there? And you want some over there? And you know, that's so Michael, you know, and everything, you know, you've got this amazing can-do attitude. You know, if you think you're going to do something, you just go and do it. And that's what I love about you. You know, it's like nothing's impossible. You know, you just do it. And you know, that's always given me a lot of inspiration. You know, I stand back over there. You know, you're up the front here, and you go for it. You know, that's it's great. You know, and I think probably the things that I remember of these, you know, 11, 12, 13 years now that we've known each other, the most is when your 2 children were born, and Jade coming into your life. You know, and that preciousness. And I'm really glad to be a part of that. And I look forward to, you know, all the other milestones. And just a real personal thing, you know, we've shared so many meals together. And I've always loved eating at your table and sharing with your plate. And I look forward to doing that.
So there's actually two things the two people that I do want to give that aren't with us tonight. Brings tears to my eyes. The first is Georgia Enter, and she was an amazing child, and she was, you know, a part of the last 10 years of my life with Jane. And she was suddenly struck with cancer and is not able to be here, but there are many times when I feel like that cheeky girl is looking over me, and I've thought about it a lot in this time when I'm 50 and I have a beautiful life with all of you beautiful friends, and there are some terrible things that happen in life, and Jane's not able to be here tonight, but Amos is going to say a few words on behalf of Jane. Jane was very funny. Jane used to come and sit with me and talk about the sanctuary and go, this guy's crazy. You know, but I'll sit with him and have lunch and we'll talk about it. So that did happen. And Amos, who, it took me 2 years to get Amos. Sorry, Barry, if you're still here. It took me 2 years to get Amos to come to the sanctuary. And Amos is brilliant and an awesome support and a beautiful friend and a beautiful person. He's going to come and say a couple of words on behalf of himself and Jane, or Jane and himself, and Jane.
Okay, this is actually from Jane. It's a message from her. So I'm speaking her voice, okay? So she's actually dictating what she wants me to say. So she says, I'm truly pissed off, Michael, to be missing a great party. Most importantly, to be missing your party, Michael. We've known each other for 14 years and worked together both at the Buttery and Sanctuary for almost all those years. And like tonight's fireworks, on occasion you and I have lit up the Northern Rivers with our teensy tussles. We've had our moments, but the moments that endure and also count overall are the ones where your generosity, your kindness, your love have shone through. We've been with one another through separations, loved ones' deaths, joyous madness, crazy clients, our numerous attempts to lose copious amounts of weight in the shortest time possible and with the least amount of effort. Who can forget the internet weight loss find where you discovered the pill that would have us ripped and slender by just taking it, sitting at our desk and eating? You were so excited that I became as excited, and even though it made no medical or logical sense, we ordered it. Clearly, in my case, it didn't work. Or the time we were going to live together with a chef and personal trainer and be thin in a month. I think I just ate more the entire time. Or the next time, and this time would be the time. We have laughed and laughed over so many harebrained attempts, and there's this wonderful, wicked, outrageous sense of humour that we share that I so appreciate about you. There have been so many times we've rolled around laughing at some of the mad antics we encounter in our day-to-day lives, and we have laughed loudest at ourselves. I ended up calling you Dr. Goldberg because you told me in all seriousness that you knew exactly what childbirth was like, even though you hadn't had any children yet. We've cracked up about people wanting to bring submarines to the sanctuary, to be told all alcohol to be given up for their stay, even though while quaffing champagne at the time of discussing it at 9 a.m, they didn't think or believe that champagne actually counted. Or the time 20 diaphragms were filled with cocaine that Amos unkindly made us flush away. What we could have done with that. Sorry, excuse me. So there's never a dull moment with you around. And whether I'm repairing various misdemeanors or dealing with havoc created single-handedly by you, you are the most entertaining person to work for and the brightest light. To acknowledge you in any way would first be to say you are amazingly bright, and even though you burned down your high school Mount Scopus, you clearly learned that education is important and that you have gone on to have the best life. One of the most precious experiences that I've shared with you is seeing you as a dad. No, not the Godfather type dad, but the dad that adores Jet and Gia and melts every time you see them. Not even your fears of bad smells, germs and mess get in the way of you cuddling, kissing and yumming up your gorgeous children. And I'm also eternally, and I'll never forget when Jay came into your life. After so much heartache and stress, you finally found the one gem that could make you truly happy. And you were like the cat who got the cream, and you still are. And I'm overjoyed for you. However, do you recall our bet in 2010 where you promised me $1,000 if you couldn't find 3 eligible men in Byron Bay for 3 of us women friends of yours in 3 months? We extended the 3 months to 6. You didn't find one. And you admitted it was the only bet you had lost. And you still haven't paid up. So I know from the moment you made the bet, you wouldn't win. I'm not a gambler. However, you are, and you have gambled so much of yourself on creating the sanctuary. You've put so much on the line and worked so very hard and for so long that you truly deserve this win. And you deserve the family and love you have in your life now. Because it was all you ever wanted, to have a partner who loved you for you, and children to make getting up in the morning worth it. And of course you get up much earlier than the rest of us. How can I forget your 3 a.m. emails, or the fact that I can count on one hand the amount of times in 14 years that you've told me you slept 8 hours. And what is worse, you look so good on so little sleep. But please remember, I'm a 12-hour-a-night person, and my peak time is between 11 and noon. So if I could be here to reach over and hug you, I would. But instead, I want to thank you for being the unique and wonderful person you are. To thank you for always being there when my chips were down. And God, no, actually, Michael, you know how down they have been. And you've never wavered. You were steadfast and true. So please, everyone, raise your glass and wish this wonderful man a wonderful 50th. And for God's sake, Michael Goldberg, get some sleep tonight.
Beautiful.
Most of us know Jane, and she is an absolutely amazing woman. And yes, she's an amazing woman, and very grateful and honoured to have her and you guys in my life. Yes. So there's a lot of people here that have done beautiful and helped me in my life. And I sort of cringe when people talk about me, but because I really do feel like, you know, everything that I have has been very much a joint effort, you know. When I lived with Jan, you're an amazing person to be around. I wish I could see people there. I can't see, these lights are terrible.
Oh, Karen is here. Karen just came.
Kaza. We have a thank you for you. Life goes on. Bianca was talking to me before, saying how amazing it is that, you know, 10 years ago we were there, and 10 years later we are here, and look where we are. I do consider myself very fortunate, and I consider myself very fortunate because of all the beautiful people I have around me. And, you know, the other person that I was, that isn't here with us today, but his father works with us every day is Dave, and I know Gav's here, and Dave's daughter passed a year ago tomorrow in a plane crash with Dave, and so he's done very well. I loved Kayla, and I just wanted to
I get mad.
it's been a big part of my last year, and it does come up in my mind, as Georgia does, that there are as well as such beautiful things that happen in life, this was something that is something that just has to be dealt with. But what has been beautiful is seeing my sister's family grow. Having Ruby, Dylan and Boaz hasn't been able to be here. Did you guys want to do something or say something? Should we do that now? Ruby, my niece. Boaz, my nephew. Dylan, my nephew.
Hello, I'm Ruby, this is Dill. When Michael and his sister and her mum, Michelle, grew up, thanks to Paulette and Joe, they were two peas in a pod. Everything was kept strictly in order, with Sergeant Paulette in charge. Everything was coordinated, they were always dressed in matching clothes, and even their names only differ by one letter. And of course today Michael continues this neat and orderly lifestyle structure with great elegance. He is the driving force behind a thriving and purposeful business, and is the loving husband and father to his beautiful family.
Some people might feel self-conscious plastering their name all over town, but not Mr. Goldberg. He loves to show his lineage with great pride. The first time I saw the golden G on the front of Gray's Lane gate, I got confused, but with awe. Was I in Graceland of Elvis Mansion? Or in some Scarface movie? Then there's the Goldberg painted on the hottest Harleys on the East Coast, a couple of them. And there's the floor mats, the light fittings, the towels, it's all there. Yeah. So he's really like that fabled king Midas. That fabled king Midas, who when everything he touches turns to gold. And I think it's rubbing off on Jade too. When we met Jade first, she was more like rock and roll with leather and studs. Now she rolls with the gold. She's coming. Bit of silk. Yeah. Along with Paulette and Joe's Jewish home life, attending a Jewish religious boys' school would have played a part in forming Michael's Jewish pride. It might be subtle, but it's strong and meaningful influence within him. Although instead of concentrating on Torah lessons, I'm told he was busy letting air out of the rabbi's tires.
Everything that Michael does will be done with great enthusiasm. Time to exercise? No problem. He'll make sure he has the right trainers, shorts, singlet, and he's ready to go. Full of MG brand. Enthusiasm. Shopping expedition? Enthusiasm. Ordering at a restaurant? Enthusiasm. One time in Sydney, I casually mentioned that I wanted to go get a manicure. He enthusiastically replied, "I'll come, but I'm getting a mani and a pedi." I thought, okay, let's go. So there we were, me and my solid uncle, climbing up onto the chair, waiting for two Chinese petite women to serve us. One at his feet and one at his hands. And as I close my eyes, lay back, I start to hear him giggle uncontrollably. He couldn't handle it, but even his infectious laughter was filled with great enthusiasm.
One thing I greatly admire about Michael is his high grade of living. I remember visiting him a long time ago when he was living out a garage in Suffolk Park. But to me, it looked so cozy and cool. He had a beautiful big red rug on the floor, water from the rain roof, always organic food in the house in the fridge, and it was probably the only garage in Byron Bay that had a burning fireplace inside. This passion for organic food has grown and evolved, evident through his blooming organic farm, which I love and respect so much. And by the way, if anyone wants to check out the farm, you might have to bring some torches or something, but he's showcasing it down there. He showcases, he's got signs all out showing you what's what. It's really because he likes to inspire you, you know, and this is the heart and, you know, the good-hearted and generous Michael we all know. So, you know, he's got a beautiful farm down there. You can all check it out if you want. And a special thanks, Michael, to your awesome dominant Goldberg gene. As a young boy, whenever I saw childhood friends of my mother or of Michael or of my grandparents, they would always be like, "Oh my God, you look just like Michael." All the time. Everyone I met, seriously. Especially when I was in Melbourne with my grandmother. Every person. And thank you for the blonde curls and blue eyes. They've done me swell. And I'm excited to see how the DNA rolls with Jet. It's already going so well. Mostly every other person who sees him thinks the same. And just, yeah.
I think everyone here has experienced MG's generous spirit, giving with his full heart unconditionally. Jade and Michael, thanks for always opening your hearts and your doors so we can come hang with you guys, Jet and Gia. We love you and happy birthday.
And I just think it's so awesome how most of his time speaking, he's speaking about other people. He's just generous.
So anyway, I'm going to fast forward because you guys must be getting sore as well. Yeah, so one thing that I say to everyone, and I am rather embarrassed about it, is how beautiful my life is, how beautiful my wife is, how beautiful my children are. I do consider myself, I mean, you know, of course, you know, people get up and they give talks about their families, all this sort of stuff, but for me it's real. Like Jade is amazing. She is. You know, and I'll tell you, you know, she, you know, there's always smiling, it's always fun, she's exciting, she's happy, she's vibrant, and she's amazing. And a lot of her friends are here tonight, and I thank you all for coming, and I thank you for opening your hearts to me. And those friends that are here, I know have been her friends for a long time. They knew the real Jade. I saw the real Jade straight away, and the little Jade's here now. But one thing I do want to say, which I don't know, I can't see her, and I know that she's come here. No, I know, no. Is Amber? Is Amber?
Yeah, she's here.
She's smoking. Anyway, I love Amber, Jade's sister. So, lots of love to you, Amber. It's beautiful having you as a sister-in-law, but I'd like to bring Jade out because I talk too much. She might be a bit nervous.
Yeah, nervous.
A little bit nervous. Good.
Nice and loud.
My speech is called 50 Things I Love About You. Number 1, your endless energetic enthusiasm. Number 2, your dedication to whichever diet and exercise combo you're into that week. Number 3, watching you and Jet have nap time together. Number 4, you have mad driving and parking skills. Number 5, the fact that you have 100 pairs of shoes but only ever seem to wear 4 pairs. How sweet you are to your mother. Number 7, you're a big time handyman. It's really handy. Number 8, your keen business sense. Number 9, when you kiss my forehead. Number 10, your generosity with people. You're always so giving. 11, that when I married you, your sister Michelle became my sister. Number 12, that I also inherited the rest of the Smith family. Love those guys. 13, your propensity for the ostentatious. Number 14, your taste in cars. 15, your taste in jewellery. And 16, your taste in women. 17, how you have a genuine interest in helping people, because I certainly don't. Number 18, how you melt me with your cuteness. Number 19, your friend Nico, she's rad. Number 20, you're the most positive person I've ever met. You're such a happy head. Number 21, waking up to you. 22, that you have a particular aftershave for doing work on the farm. 23, the way you look at your daughter. 24, that whatever I cook for you, you always explain, that's the best whatever it is that I cooked. Even if it's toast, you'll be like, that's the most amazing toast. 25, you don't do things halfway. 26, your brows say business time. 27, that you love to travel, only in business class. 28, your abundance of energy. 29, the team you've created at the Sanctuary, a truly great bunch of people. Yeah, people. 30, you get stuff done. You're super capable. 31, that back in the day, your DJ name was Sleazy G. You're 32, your appreciation for beautiful food. You're a total foodie. 33, your childlike enthusiasm for cars, motorbikes, tractors, anything on wheels. You really are a big boy who loves his toys. 34, I love that you had a crazy mop of curls just like Jet. 35, you always offer to share the last bite. 36, that your genes beat mine to a pulp in the baby making department. And 37, you make me a better person. 38, how I can never ever beat you in a sprint. You're the fastest sprinter ever. He really is. Anyone should challenge him, I swear. He's really fast. 39, whenever we go out to dinner, I never need worry if we ordered enough. Number 40, nude swims. 41, the way your skin smells. 42, your love for me. 43, how you can change a nappy faster than I can. Pretty impressive. 44, you'll laugh and laughing with you. You always crack me up. 45, you're a triple espresso connoisseur. I've never seen anyone drink more coffee, and I've been a barista. Big time. 46, the friendship you've formed with my sister. 47, you're an amazing judge of character. You really know people. I love judging people with you. 48, that I get excited to see you. 49, you know how to throw a party. And 50, just that you are exactly how you are.
That was great. Isn't she great? She's great! Okay. So I think there's going to be, look, you know, I really do. I mean, there's so many people here, and there's so many people who have just been awesome in my life. And I so love where I am today, and I am today where I am because of all the people around me that have helped me and made my life beautiful and smile at me and say hello to me and warm my heart. And it's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, and I just want to. So we've got some beautiful fireworks happening. There's more food. There's a lot of drinks. There's a lot of non-alcoholic drinks. There's a lot of alcoholic drinks for those who are allowed. And let's enjoy these fireworks. Thank you so much.